Okay, we are live. So, hello. This is the Park Right Here podcast with Katrina and Tom. We're
Hello.
just we're commiserating together today about fatigue.
Oh
Parkinson's
yeah,
fatigue is real. You're always tired. You're tired of being tired. I took a
yeah.
nap at noon and I'm ready for another one. so, um,
I unfortunately
it's
don't
it
nap during the day.
Oh, I try not to because I am an insomniac. I do have problems getting to sleep, staying asleep, all of that great stuff. I want to thank everybody first and foremost for watching us. People have been watching us on YouTube and Facebook, and we want to say thank you. We're You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow that. It's Park Right Here Podcast, as well as on Instagram, not Twitter, X, formerly
Yeah.
known as Twitter, and the Park Right Here Facebook page. You can email us at any time with any questions at parkrightherepodcast@gmail.com. I do check it daily. So you can ask any questions. Hey, Stace.
Hey, we got.
Um,
Hey, Stacy.
that's my cuz. Um, yep, go subscribe. Both of our we've got more followers on YouTube now than I do on my own channel, and I've had it for years. So I'm very thankful for that.
Same
And
here.
also, it was mentioned to me, I can't remember who said it, but we do want to make the disclaimer from the get go that neither one of us are medical professionals. I'm no longer a licensed nurse. Um, so
I
if we
gave
do
up my
talk about
medical practice. I gave up my non-existent medical practice for this as well.
So if we do talk about medications or treatments, it's only from a layman's perspective and our own experience and advice.
Hmm.
We do recommend that you go to your doctor or your medical provider and do not change any of your medication based on our experience or anything like that.
Right.
We're just giving you wisdom and advice, and always tell um, do not change anything or start anything, exercise anything. We recommend that you go to your provider for any information about that. I want to start that from jump. So, Tom, how is your day gone? And tell us about your pickleball tournament.
Well, today started off well. I did I don't know if I want to call it a survey, a trial, and clinical stuff. But I spoke with someone for over an hour, and they're testing a new type of delivery system for Parkinson's patients. And when I have I signed like a waiver that I won't talk about the specifics. It was just a great hour because they were asking me my opinion on things and what my thoughts were, and because what I like is when companies want to talk to the end user, the people that are actually going to use the product, to get their opinion on what the product is, how they perceive it working, how would they go to market? Would you just do it? One of the interesting things, would you do this on your own, or would you initiate it with your doctor, or do you have your doctor initiate it? And the one that I found interesting is, well, what about if you wanted to do it, but your doctor didn't think it was right for you? Then I said, it's not right for me. And the guy looked at me, that's an interesting perspective. I said, well, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I don't play one on Zoom. But I know that my doctor is much smarter than I am when it comes to this stuff. And I yield to him. And I think to a certain extent, I think we all should do that. We may have our opinions as to what we feel is right for us. But at the end of the day, no matter how much information Katrina and I have gathered on Parkinson's, we're still not doctors. And I still want to yield to my doctor because, first of all, he's a cool guy. I like him. Okay, I know you're not listening, Dr. Savage, but you should. I'll talk to you about that one later. Uh, but I just feel like I've got a great relationship with him. And at the end, I want to yield to him. So after that, I've been playing a lot of pickleball. And I like it because it's 3 times a week, 2 hours a day, and it's just a good hard workout. But today I was going for a backhand, and God, I don't know what I did, but I hurt my shoulder on the backhand. But I made the shot, and we got the point, so it was worth it. But I just find that I just love pickleball, which I go off on tangents. So I'm going to go off on a little tangent on pickleball. Not that pickleball itself is, but if you're not doing something, they say any exercise is good exercise, which I tend to disagree with. They say, any exercise that you like doing is good exercise. I agree to that to a certain extent, but you got to find that exercise that you like doing, and yet will also reach what you need as a Parkinson's individual to delay the progression of disease, which is anywhere from three, ideally, you hear a lot of different stats on it, but the one that seems to be general is 3 times a week, 45 minutes, at least 45 minutes of high intensity aerobics. That could be jogging, walking the treadmill, riding the bike, just something that gets your heart level up. And for me, pickleball gets my heart level up because I'm all over the damn court.
Yeah, and I love
But
dancing,
right
so
now,
I love body groove. So, yeah, as long as you can find something you like, and you do need to get your heart rate up because that's what, or cycling. Cycling is really good. Boxing, non-contact boxing like
oh
rock
yeah.
steady is really, really good, you know.
So since we're
Uh,
talking, this is live. Let me show you my little setup here. I don't know if this will work, but so that's my exercise room. I got a bag that I hit. I got the TRX system. And it's over there. You see a bike in the corner, and right over here is the TV and the yoga mat. So we converted a room into an exercise center. So I have no excuse for not exercising. It's literally
yep.
right next door to me.
Well, yeah, except when that fatigue hits and whoo, it's hard to get motivated sometimes. I mean, my daughter helps motivate me a lot because will exercise together. We'll play Just Dance, which, and it gets competitive sometimes on the Xbox. So here, I gotta turn my side light on.
I don't know if
There we
this
go.
impacts other people because I'm retired and I find that I miss
Mm-hmm.
structure in my life. So as long, I mean, I know that room is right there, but I don't seem to be able. I'm more able to go to say a gym class 3 times a week at 8 a.m. in the morning than I am to go here at 8 a.m. in the morning because something always gets between me and the door. That door, something gets in the way, and I get sidetracked. And I've got 3 things going on at the same time, and before I know it, it's now like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's me too. Because me and Jim are retired, and yeah, we sleep. Well, Erica keeps us a little structured because she doesn't like riding the bus, so either me or Jim have to drive her to school, so we have to get up early for that. But a lot of times we'll go back to bed after
Well,
afterwards. But we like walking. We have to walk the dog and that kind of thing. Just in case you hear a Great Pyrenees in the background, he loves to bark at everything. And there is a cat that Erica has um, adopted, I guess I would say a feral cat. She has taking up where my grandmother left off, an adopted feral cat. My grandmother used to adopt every cat on the holler. And now Erica has, but we found out quickly that my dog does not like cats at all and barks like crazy anytime she sees the little cat. So if in case you hear that in the background, I can't help that. So,
if you hear any
but the
barking in the
Parkin.
background, it's probably me. I don't have a dog. I just
Oh, that's nice. Adon noticed that my dyskinesia is much better today. Yes, actually, last week I went to Charlottesville to the University of Virginia Medical Center, and they adjusted my DBS, my deep brain stimulator. And they actually gave me 2 programs. I have one, just my main program, and one every time I have a dyskinesia episode, I can flip it to that. So it's helped a lot. And I learned
good.
more about my DBS. I actually had it wrong. I had it flipped in my mind that if I increase the amplitude or whatever it is, that would help dyskinesia. But actually, it was vice versa. I had to lower the numbers to help dyskinesia and increase the numbers to help dystonia. So now that I've got that straight, that helps a lot.
Well, I guess I'm
Only
fortunate at this point that I don't have either, but dyskinesia just scares the hell out of me. Just the involuntary muscle movement and everything else that scares the hell out of me. I mean, I don't want to say I feel bad, but I just wish it didn't exist. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. because it's hard. And I've known Katrina now for about a year or so, and I just want to, on a side note, I don't think you can appreciate how strong of a woman she is. Be able to go here and let you see exactly how her Parkinson's affects her on a day-to-day basis. It's just something worth celebrating, if you will. I'd rather celebrate you not having it, but it's also celebrating your strength and your courage.
Oh, I just want to, share with people, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, um, because it's real, and that's that. You could probably ask Stacy. I've always been a real person, so I'm always been an
Yeah,
open book, and that's who I am. And kind of like, you know, by your testing or by your testimony, is kind of in the faith world, is like by your testimony people are set free. In the you know real world, it's by sharing, even when it's hard, and the ugly, the hard part of Parkinson's. That's how people will, hey, I'm not alone in all of this, and hey, there'll be
right,
good days and there'll be bad days, and that's just how it
right.
is. So, and you
And
have to
the
take the
words she
good with
said,
the
"I'm not
bad.
alone."
Hmm.
The words she said, "I'm not alone with this." Those are incredible words because the one thing, if anything, you need if you have Parkinson's and you're struggling, and you do not belong to a support group, find a support group, even if it's through
Hmm.
Zoom or whatever. Because
Hmm.
when someone asks me what's the advantages of a support group, I say, well, it's a safe place. You don't
Hmm.
have to worry about who you are or what you have, or if you're dyskinesia, if you're on, you're off, or because you're in a safe place. And just the ability to talk to somebody, and that's kind of like what we're doing here, just talking about things. You don't know how I guess I can say how refreshing, if that's the right word, it is. I remember one
Hmm.
of our ambassador friends. She called me one day and said, Tom, we talk, but we also listen. And that was really powerful when she said we all also listen. And for me, getting on this path, whether of helping other people, is giving me like a purpose in my life again. And that's why I like doing what I'm doing. There's a couple people that had they not been in my life with Parkinson's, I wouldn't be here today. I don't know where I would be, but I wouldn't be here today. There's still a
Hmm.
lady, Margarita Rogers, who goes back 6 years or so, and I still talk to her on a somewhat regular basis. And she the program she worked with has gone away, and I can hear it in her voice. She misses it. She misses working with Parkinson's patients, and sometimes she gets down in the dumps. And I just try to remind her, said, Margarita, just remember, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now if you didn't do what you did back then. So if at the end of the day, don't look at not doing this as a bad thing. Just remember all the good that you did. And she was like one of my first angels.
Thank you, Jennifer. I love you
Uh,
too, sweetie. Sorry.
so I
Family.
got to give a shout out. Is
Family.
there anybody out there that knows me? Is there anybody out there that wants to give me a plug? Come on. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm just sitting down here. Anybody, I don't even care if you don't even mean it. Just say, hi, Tom. You're looking good today, too. This Canadian's looking good today, Tom. Come on. Yeah, that's what I'm the straight, am I a straight man or a color commentator? I think I'm the color commentator.
You get a lot of shout outs afterwards. That's what it is.
But, again, here goes another tangent. I mean, just, if someone wants to keep scoring how many tangents I go off, I would really do that. I think the under over is about 60. So we'll take it from there. But for me, being this way is the way I deal with Parkinson's. I try to find humor in life. I try to find things. Oh, thank
Pop.
you. I got a high. Yeah, yeah, look at this. I'm smiling. My wife says I never smile. See, a smile. But I find that the way I can deal with Parkinson's and deal with life is try to look for things. And I don't do it, I guess, purposely. I don't sit here and say, I wonder what she's going to say. If she says this, I'm going to say that. But these thoughts just come into my head. And like, even before Parkinson's, I had that foot in the mouth disease. And now I
Hmm.
still have it, but I can blame it on the Parkinson's. That's one of the advantages of it. But if I can help somebody be happy, that just will bring a little joy into their life. It's just we both win, and I really enjoy doing that. But and someone said to me they thought I was just a guy that made jokes. I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't make jokes. Jokes are like a guy slips on a banana peel. That's a joke. I do humor. I do situational humor. I see something and One of my favorites was we were doing this thing in the beginning called the Expertise Project. Every every ambassador has a list of expertise, and there were really too many of them. So we're going down the list. We put the list together alphabetically, and we're looking at the list of which ones can we combine, which ones we can get rid of. And what I particularly liked was at the end of C was the word constipation. The first word under D was drool. And I saw that, and immediately I said, here's a problem. You got too much coming out of one end and not enough coming out of the other. And that's just the visual there. But it's like that's how my brain works. It's good. It's good and bad.
Yep.
By the
And
way,
it's like,
I said to my doctor, it hurts when I do this. So he said, don't do that. So that's my medical advice for the day.
and part of Parkinson's too, I have to remind myself. I like that.
Oh, Aiden, no, not too much meds. If medication is causing this, I had Parkinson's when I was 3.
But I have to remind myself sometimes to smile, or because like one of my extremely early symptoms before the motor symptoms was the mask like expressionless
Yeah.
face, and you have to remind yourself to smile or to look like, a normal person. I call it resting Parkinson's face. And it's not that I don't have emotion, as much emotion as I ever have, but my mom noticed it a long time ago, and she said she thought I was on too much Ativan. So, and I wasn't even on Ativan at the time. She thought I was on too much meds. So,
A long time ago, one of the ambassadors called me up like it was a Friday night. She goes, Tom, I think you're manic. You got to get off your meds right now. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate the fact that Friday night you're thinking of me. However, I don't do anything without my doctor. And no, I'm not going off my meds. And no, I'm not manic. This is me. I've never been a person to sit still. I just can't sit still. I remember we were at a meeting yesterday, and I was telling Katrina, we broke up into little discussion groups, and nobody was talking. And I sit there, and I'm like, there's 5 of us, and I'm thinking to myself, for God's sake, please somebody talk. Please somebody talk. Because if they can't talk, I'm going to open my mouth. I can't help myself. So I started talking, and I started directing the meeting because that's my natural tendency. The A personality, I want to be in charge kind of guy. But I'm sitting there like, please, somebody talk.
I had the same problem, and I don't think I'm an A personality. I'm more of the like to be behind the scenes. Like I'm the one that sets everything up, and I try to do the social media stuff. Luckily, I have a 16-year-old to help me, except she will not touch Facebook because that's for boomers. She will not touch it at all. And she says I'm too old for TikTok, so I can't do that. She said everybody will laugh at
Oh,
me.
from when you got to stay away from TikTok, the Chinese, they know everything about you now. So
I
just in
know,
case
that's what
you're
I told her.
listening, Chinese, if anybody's listening from a foreign country, yes, we have Parkinson's. Yes, we take medications. So you can stop data mining us, okay? If you need to know something, just put it in the chat. We'll answer it in the chat. Oh, we got a chat from the Communist Party. They want to know what kind of medication I'm taking because I seem to be talking a lot. Oh, wow, the Communist Party. Look at that. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, watch out, you'll be banned from China. Oh my goodness. But oh, now you got me off track again because I was thinking about
Well,
what is it?
well,
Uncle
now we have a
Roger.
question.
I don't
Do
Oh,
you have
man.
any experiences of having a manic attack? I honestly don't know what a manic attack looks like, so I'm gonna have to say no.
I will have to say yes on that. Actually, you will a lot of times Parkinson's patients will show signs of mania and bipolar and depressive episodes or any kind of major mental health problems before the motor symptoms start. And I learned that from my movement disorder specialist in Colorado, and he said that is from losing the dopamine slowly over time. And I remember my first manic episode. I remember cleaning my kitchen for like 6 hours straight. I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't even, I think I even forgot to take my meds. It was just like nonstop. I mean, cleaning as to the point of like sorting my storage containers and Tupperware and stuff like that, and it was like really bizarre behavior. And it happens in every now and again, not as often, but a lot of times it's because of Parkinson's. It's not. I mean, it is a mental health disease, but it's from losing the dopamine, because dopamine affects serotonin. Serotonin affects norepinephrine, which are chemicals in your brain. So it's all linked together.
So,
So
so
a
I
lot of
just
times it
Googled
happens.
manic attack.
Mhm,
So Google says a manic attack is a period of feeling full of energy. You might talk faster than usual. By the way, this is usual
mhm,
talking for me, so it's not that one doesn't get a check mark. Your thoughts are racing, or you take on a lot
mhm.
of activities. I'm a slug. I don't take on any activities. You don't need much sleep. I need a lot of sleep. Uh, and then the
Mhm,
last thing is they say happy or irritable moods that last for at least it says a week. Now, I've been married for
mhm,
34 years. My wife would say that I've been suffering from this for at least 34 years if it's irritability. But when I look at these, I've probably had like something similar to like mini manic attacks then, where sometimes
yeah.
I get into a point where it's compulsive behavior. There's something I need to do. I'm
Mhm,
not doing it right. I can't stop myself from. Like I was trying to sheetrock. I'll finish some sheetrock one day in our old house, and I couldn't get it right. So I would put it on. I would take it off. I put it on. I take it off. I couldn't stop myself. And I did that on
mhm,
for about an hour and a half. My wife finally came home, and I was just getting to a point where I was so frustrated, but I couldn't stop. But that
mhm.
only lasted a couple hours. I don't know if that classifies as a mini manic attack or not.
It kind of could be. I mean, it's the dopamine thing, and dopamine is one of those the three chemicals that affect mental health is serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. So, and they're
Mhm.
all linked together. You have to be very careful if you take any psych meds, because they all affect the dopamine in some way. A lot of them, antidepressant wise, there are really only about two, I think, that don't affect dopamine. So definitely check with your mental health provider or your MDS and ask them about it. I definitely, and any, especially antipsychotics, they're ask them, because those affect dopamine as well. So I would
Yeah.
get somebody who
I
is
said
specialized, or have them talk to have them communicate, because that's what I do, because my psychiatrist communicates with my neurologist about any medications before any medication change.
I do take something that's it's a I think we talked about this last week briefly. It's a mood enhancer, and it's
Mm-hmm.
meant to help because I was never before Parkinson's. I never, yeah, I cried at my wedding because oh my God, what did I get myself into? Tears rolling down my face. But I cried at the birth of my children. But I cried when the Cubs won the World Series because that doesn't happen but once every 100 years. So I had to have a good cry then. Uh,
My
but
husband too.
with Parkinson's, I mean, I was crying a lot, and I couldn't control it. It just like I said, a wave came over of emotion, and I just started to cry. So my doctor put me on a mood enhancer, which has kind of brought me back to more. I don't. It, it doesn't. It takes much more for me to cry than before. I used to just think about Parkinson's, and I would start tearing up.
Yep. Well, I'm glad that helped. And so it's like a lot of those questions arise, especially mental health stuff, and people feel like there's a stigma against it, and it's not. As part of Parkinson. I mean, the top two motor symptoms of, or non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's, are depression and anxiety. And at some point, I think everyone with Parkinson's is going to get depression and anxiety. They say 70 to 80%, but I mean, just getting the diagnosis itself is going to cause some depression and some anxiety, I think, but that's
You
just
know,
my own opinion. But so at
yeah.
some
I know
point,
there's really not much I can do on the because of the chemical. It took me a while to understand that depression is not, not depression. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. Because I think,
yep.
unfortunately, in society, we look at those mental illnesses as weaknesses. And I'm thinking to
Mm-hmm.
myself, John Wayne wouldn't take Lexapro. And, Clint Eastwood doesn't take Lexapro. But and that's just a stupid male perspective on things. But the one thing I did
Mm-hmm.
learn, and it was and this is going back to the support group, is the people within the group. They would tell me it's okay to cry. I mean, I still don't like it, but it was because they knew what I was going through, and then I think that's the
Right.
power of the group, in that they know they don't maybe not know you, they may not know exactly what you're going through, but they know their own form of Parkinson's, and they can extrapolate that out to somebody else. So that is one of the other things,
Mhm.
because you feel like it is a safe place.
That's very true. And like the ambassador, it is the one we had yesterday was more of a meeting. Is tonight the one with the support group? More
Yeah.
of this, yeah. And I have a
So it's like we
online.
do this. I started this a couple of years ago, and
Oh, did you start the Thursday night
I
one?
think you're slowing down a wee bit. I think I may be having technical difficulties.
Did a bit. Yeah, you froze a little bit.
Whoops.
Do you want to restart
I'm
us?
gonna hold on a second. I'm gonna go to Plan B. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm gonna jump on my other computer, because bear with us. By the way, the beauty of live television. Let me jump on this one.
Okay,
I'll just
that is live TV for ya. So about the fatigue, one thing, exercise does help the
hold on a second. Oh,
fatigue,
no, oh, are we
but
better? No, we're
um,
not.
no.
You just keep
Okay,
talking. I'll be back.
okay. I'm actually. Oh, okay. I'll keep talking. I think he keeps glitching a little bit. Is he glitching for you at
I'm
all,
gonna close
Adon?
out. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll stay on. I can't tell. It's hard to tell, but I'll stay on. Oh, there he goes. He'll be back. So yeah, the fatigue is real. If there's any other questions, we're gonna try to post more live on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Go live more. We're gonna try to have it's called Destinations. Oh, okay. I think he was glitching more on like for him and me because we both can see each other at the same time. So maybe that's what it was. And I was glitching for him, but I wasn't glitching for myself. So I don't know. He has a. I know I have a. Oh, here he comes. I got to put him on the stage. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, you're back.
Now this is a Chromebook that I don't know why, but I seem to have problems with the my desktop.
Oh, okay. Is
So,
it an older one?
well, yeah, it's not a desktop per se. It's like I made sort of a makeup. Bleh, bleh. Okay, I'm thinking. It's I set it up. It's a. I'm sorry. Oh God, I hate this. This is the worst part about Parkinson's for me is my brain just stops working. I made a docking station more or less, and I have an old laptop attached to a docking station. And I'm a frugal person, so it works. It does everything I need, but these stupid things. So let's see if this is working.
Yeah. He said you were good. So
Okay.
he's yeah. He is our loyal, and I think we get a lot more views afterwards. It seems so because I put it everywhere on because once I go on Buzzsprout,
Look at
um,
that.
Buzzsprout puts it on um, all the podcast channels. They put it
Right.
on Apple, they put it on Google, they put it on now. Spotify has a new thing where I have to actually they have Spotify for podcast. They started it a couple months ago. So they have a separate thing I have to go on and I now have it on that. And I finally got us on iHeart. I have been trying to go
Oh,
on
really?
iHeart yeah, for years. I tried to get the first 5 episodes on there, but I don't know. They like us both together better. So
Oh,
now we're on iHeartRadio.
oh. We're like peanut
So
butter and jelly. They go better together.
yep. So so Buzzsprout will collect all of that stuff and they'll give us how many views we get and how many listens we'll get. Because if the podcast has video, they'll do video. If it only has audio, it'll only do audio.
So for the just audio listeners out there, I have a great face for radio. Just want to give you that.
Yep. Oh,
No.
that's true. Well, do you have an iPhone or you Android?
I have an iPhone.
Oh, maybe you can try it on iPhone next time.
Oh, yes, possible, but that's
But
worth trying.
you may not show as much.
Yeah.
I know you asked this last time. I know Tom does not, so you don't have to answer this one. And I don't have any. I've tried once or twice, but it doesn't work for me because I'm non-tremor. I have seen it work for tremors, and I know my uh, MD, my movement disorder specialist in Colorado, um, was a proponent for it, and I have seen it work with my cousin who has it. He's tremor forward, so that's my experience with cannabis. So
Oh,
I don't
cannabis.
like, yeah, I don't like it myself, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I tried it for pain management, but no, I got a shot in my back instead. I got a shot of steroids in my back, so that seemed to have helped. The shot was not pleasant, but it seemed to help. I had that last week too. I at least tried to make both appointments. One appointment was one day and one appointment was the next. So, and this weekend I'm going up for an open house for the Davis Finney Foundation. Since you were kind enough to, you should have just send it to me directly. I should have told you instead of it going all the way to Colorado and then come all the way back here. Sent me the tablecloth for the it's an open house.
So that makes sense. You should just forward it to the next person.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got another couple of events coming up, so
Okay.
they wanted somebody specifically from Davis Finney, and I have to go back to
good.
Charlottesville, and I'm the only one for the state of Virginia now. So, and I've got quite a few now. Well, I some one's going to be in Abingdon, which won't be too far. That's only about a half hour, 45 minutes from me, which is better. I'm going to the farmer's market.
So here's the tablecloth she's referencing, women. That's the good looking person behind the desk is me.
So where did you get the little tower thing, or you know what I'm talking about?
No. Yeah.
The big thing with the sign, the
stand-up
that's sign.
Not mine. That belongs to the person next to me.
Oh, okay.
That was I forgot the name of the medical let's see.
Who did you have beside you? Rytari or Ambrosia?
Oh, this is the one. Oh, I gave him a piece of my mind. I can't remember the name. But this is the one that really bugs the shit out of me. There used to be I haven't seen it in a while, but there was a TV commercial that showed an older guy suffering from hallucinations, and it was done really.
Oh,
it was. You remember that?
Nuplazid.
That's it. And they were right next to me, and so this is my weirdness, I guess, but I started a conversation with the person there, and I started by saying, listen, I know you didn't develop this drug. I know you didn't promote this drug. I know you don't market this drug. You're just the person trying to tell people about it. But the commercial, I haven't met anybody in the Parkinson community that likes the commercial. It shows a very old man hunched over, very scared looking in their hallucinations. It portrayed that person in just a really, really bad light. And I remember saying something to the effect that, if you probably did more damage to your brand than you thought you were doing, because nobody liked that commercial. Nobody. And the one guy said something really funny. He goes, well, which one was that? I said, well, how many commercials do you have showing an old man hallucinating? He goes, one. I said, well, is that one then, dummy?
That and Ambrosia is now just coming out in Europe, but it's only 33 milligrams. Ours is 42 or 42 milligrams per inhalation or capsule, which I thought was kind of weird, but okay. And they said it's very expensive as well. And ours has been out since 2018. That's usually it's the other way around. Usually Europe
Yeah,
gets everything before we do, which I
they're
thought was
more.
odd. But
Yeah, they're more forward thinking, I believe.
yeah, I thought that was odd. But the weird, yeah, that almost made me not take New Placid. But you know, when you have I mean, I was a young person with hallucinations. I was, just seeing things out of my periphery. It's like,
Hmm.
like, like little shadows or little things like that, and being very irritable, and you know, I had little signs and symptoms, and as soon as I started taking it, I was fine. So
Oh, okay.
I almost didn't take it because of that commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
was
kind of like
that was
when someone
awful.
tries to sell you like security for your home. They always try to present. Do you know how many people were killed in your neighborhood last month? And oh no, how many? Well, if you had this, you don't have to worry about that. I don't like those type of commercials where they try to sell you their product based on fear.
Too many. I mean, too many. Two capsules for one dose per dose. Um, and I remember Ambrosia has finally now learned what I knew in 2018, because I was like the first person in the military system that took it. Well, because obviously people in the military are not going to have Parkinson's, or they're not going to be in the military for very much longer.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
when the representatives started passing out samples and stuff, because my movement disorder specialist was actually in on the clinical trials with the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and he was in on the planning and all that. He was in on it from jump. He used me as an example. He videotaped me off my meds and taking Ambrosia for the first time. I was the first one in like Colorado Springs who took it, and you have to take a good drink of water. Don't take a big puff when you first take it, because you're going to cough. Because when it says powdered levodopa, they are not kidding. It is complete powder. You're going to cough and all this kind of stuff. And now they're coming out trying to rebrand themselves and trying to read, and they're redoing the entire like instructions to do, you know, pretty much what I learned in 2018 and what Dr. Graybert had, told them way back then. Just now in 2023, when I was at the conference, the reps were telling me they're finally changing their instructions. They're
Oh, good.
finally catching up. And I'm saying, well, it's about darn time,
Mm.
because you can't take a big puff of this stuff. Like if I open a new box, it's like it burns.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I mean, it helps, don't get
And
me wrong, but
how quickly does it help?
about 10 minutes, within 10
Mm.
minutes, it
Okay.
helps us. I just take it when I get dystonia. It's like and it lasts for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's, good for those off periods. If you had tremors, it would work very well as well. But
Okay.
I'm not tremor. I'm a non-tremor Parkinson's. So
Yeah, I guess I'm a tremor-based Parkinson's, but my tremors aren't that bad. They're just in the left leg.
did they send you a disposable instructions handheld? Uh-uh. No, no, because I've taken it before it came on the market. Actually, my pharmacist had to get it directly from the the drug company, and then when it
Hmm.
came on the market, then they got it that way. So no,
Oh,
they did have a video, but I could basically teach it now. So I've had it for so long, but I always feel really like I almost feel guilty, because it's so easy for me to get medication because I have military insurance, and then and I have for most of my life because I grew up in the military, and then and my ex-husband was in the military, and my husband. So out of 54 years, about 38 of them were military dependent. So so and they're really good about giving me those expensive medications like Retari and Bresia without any problems at all. Just a pre-authorization every year or whatever has to be renewed, and
oh,
they always authorize it. And I know so many people that have such problems with um, high copays, and some people can't get authorized, and I feel so bad. And oh, that's one of my soapboxes, especially, being a nurse, a former nurse. It's like, I wish I could help everybody. And I hate big pharma.
Well, I just threw something on the chat. It's
Hmm.
called DIRX. It's an online pharmacy that I
Right.
use. And so they have a very interesting program. Now, I take 7 different medications. They have 6 of the, well, they have 2 programs, plus they have the regular online pharmacy. There's a program that lists, like, say, 500 drugs, and if you can, those will cost you $150 a year. And $150 a year, you get all those particular prescriptions at no cost to you and free shipping. Then they have a list that's $300 a year, and that has like triple the number. And they have 6 of my 7 medications. So I pay $300 a year for 6 medications, and and then I take the one that they don't cover is my carbidopa levodopa, but I use GoodRx, and I get like a 3-month supply of them for like $50. So, and I'm on Medicare Advantage, but I chose not to use their prescription plan because this is so much cheaper. It saves me a ton of money over the Medicare Advantage, which I still don't quite understand. Now, there's one other out there that is owned by Mark Cuban. He bought this. It's called Cost Plus, COST plus PLUS, and they literally sell you at their cost plus like a shipping fee. And they're also in the process of building their own medical warehouse where they're going to make their own prescriptions in house, own medicines in house.
Awesome.
So I'm really giving Mark Cuban a lot of credit for that, because he's like he wants to do something. He doesn't want to make money. He wants to cover the cost, basically. And so
That's awesome.
if you look at those two, that's just, even if you have like insurance, even if you have like insurance through your provider, you got to look. You could conceivably be less expensive not to use your provider and use DIRX.
True. That's definitely, I mean, I know prescription, and there's one lady I talked to who is from, oh my goodness, it's either El Salvador. I think it's El Salvador. I talked to her. It is hard for her to get just the gold standard Cinemet. It's almost impossible. And that's
Wow.
kind of the purpose of PD Avengers. They're worldwide, and their goal. Larry Gifford, who just had DBS surgery, keep him in your thoughts, and their goal is to try to get at least Cinemet, at least, or like there's parts of Africa who think that Parkinson's is like witchcraft, and people are, kind of left on their own devices or abandoned by their families. I know somebody gave me a story about how his mother was abandoned and left to die and was left to starve and all of this. And he would, go against his family and go and give her, kind of thing. They don't have it. They don't have enough for the people, because Parkinson's is almost catching up with Alzheimer's, becoming almost one of the largest, quickest, fastest growing neurological diseases in the world, with about what 8.5 million, almost 9 million people worldwide.
Yeah.
I think right now, um, they're saying maybe the next 10 years it may over catch up, or be more than Alzheimer's.
And this is one of the unfortunate things that we've in almost everywhere. We have better medical access, so we're living longer. As we live
Yep.
longer, these neurological diseases are going to affect more and more people. So it's
Mhm.
not. I don't think it may be so much because they still don't know what the underlying factor is to get Parkinson's. This
Right.
increase in Parkinson's is probably more. It's probably due to whoever actually is the underlying cause. But with more people getting older, it's affecting more. It's going to affect more people.
Yes, which is going to affect the health system, and that's why that's why this biomarker is such a big deal. So at least you can, find out early early in the disease and that you're losing dopamine. And if they could find a way to, stop the dopamine depletion, that would be, at least a help in,
Mhm.
to try to catch it in the beginning before you get to losing, before you get to the mental health problems that can happen 10 to 20 years before the motor problems. Because when you get the motor symptoms, you've lost 70 to 80% of your dopamine. So
Yeah. So I
if you
just
can
did
catch
some I did some quick math. If you got like I take 7 different medications, I get them filled for 90 days at a time. So I have 7 and I get them filled 4 times a year. So that's 28 prescriptions. If my copay is $20, I'm paying $560 in copay for those 7 medications. However, if I get those 7 medications through DRX, I'm paying $300 a year and I'm saving $260 a year.
that's pretty good.
So that's just based on 7 prescriptions, refilled every 3 months and a $20 copay. So you have to do the math yourself at home. How many you take, how often you get it filled, and what's your copay. But if you're paying, say, more than $300, now that's not to say that every medication you take is going to be on the list. For example, Ritari's not on the list. Think basically all Parkinson's medication that's generic is more or less on the list. Like my carbidopa levodopa is not on there, but my Artane is. The Requip is Requip, not extended release, but regular Requip. So Artane Requip. Oh, I take Entapapone, that's on the list, and my 2 medications, Lexapro the other, and I take a cholesterol medication. But and still, I was talking to them yesterday. I said it baffles me why you don't have carbidopa levodopa on the list, because you have all the other Parkinson drugs. And this drug's over 60 years old. It's generic, for God's sake. Why don't you have? I just can't. They said they would take that up, and which probably means they wrote it down on a piece of paper somewhere, and that's where it's left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would. Yeah, because that's as you say, the gold standard. Yeah, it's been around since the 50s.
Yeah,
That's
I hate that.
that's 70 years now.
I hate the gold standard term. I put that up there right with, no problem. Goes
Yep.
and my favorite at the restaurant is, what are we having? So I don't know. I don't remember inviting you. What the hell you mean? What are we having? Maybe you should ask what I'm having. Those are just my pet peeves. By the way, that's tangent number 27 if you're keeping track.
Or 127 if you're keeping track through 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
That's what happens when you put 2 people together and there's no structure. You just
Yeah, we do it. We do this off the cuff. We kind of talk for like 5 or 10 minutes beforehand and say, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" And today it was just how tired we felt.
Oh God.
We're like,
Okay, show of hands. How many people are tired of being tired? Let me see those hands. I see 1. I see 6 hands up. Thank you. We are tired of being tired.
Yes, and it's real. And you're definitely not alone of being tired all the time. That's why I can't, sometimes when I'm out and about, even at like Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is my favorite place to be because it's so cheap. And it's like they increased it by a quarter, and honestly, you can get better stuff now. It's really weird. You can even buy ribeye steaks. It's very strange.
At the Dollar Tree?
Yeah, at the Dollar Tree.
Make sure you read the ingredient statements.
I don't want to.
No, because so here's my other tangent. I was in the food service industry for probably over 30 some years. Look at the ingredient statement. If you can't read what's on the ingredient statement, don't buy it. If you see like enhanced with natural flavorings, that means they pumped water into it. Here's a wonderful test. Take a frozen
enriched.
Take a regular chicken breast and weigh it before you cook it. Cook the damn thing and then weigh it, and you're probably lost 25% of the weight of the chicken because they pump it with like salt water. And why? Because salt water is cheaper than actually chicken breast. It lowers the price point.
Yep, that's probably true.
And now here's your restaurant tip of the day. Don't ever get the soup of the day or the fish of the day on Monday, because what the fish of the day is everything that's left over from the weekend, and the soup of the day is everything left over from the weekend. So those 2 things are basically their way of getting rid of leftovers. Okay, that's tangent number 28. Okay.
And I figured if it was only $1.25, because it was in the $1.25, it wasn't in the Dollar Tree Plus section, because there is a Dollar Tree Plus section that's $3 or $5. It only goes up. That's as high as it goes. But it was $1.25 per steak. I figured I'd just pound it out, and I made chicken fried steak out of it.
Oh, cool. With gravy?
So, yep, white gravy.
Ooh,
That's the only kind of gravy I make,
okay.
except on Thanksgiving. And if I'm really busy on Thanksgiving, because usually, well, Jim will do the turkey and I do everything else. If I'm really busy, I'll just buy a jar of Heinz.
Okay. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking for something I want to share on my phone. Where is it? It explains a lot about who I am. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Well, keep going. I'll find it. But so that
Yeah.
you said you like your gravy one way, and that's white gravy, right?
Yes, white gravy with bacon drippings. You got to start with bacon drippings to make the roux.
Oh, here it is.
I-
So I did the DNA test for 23andMe, and this
Mhm.
says, I don't know if you can read, but that's a Neanderthal on the top. And it says, hey, Thomas, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 81% of the people who've tested at 23andMe. So I think right there, that says volumes about who I am. More than 81% of I have more more Neanderthal DNA than 80% of the population. Proud of that fact. Still can't grow a goddamn beard, but I still have that Neanderthal in me.
So, what are you more ethnically?
Oh, so
Where'd you
okay,
come-
tangent number 29. Here we go. So I went to Italy this year for 3 weeks. So I always thought my last name is Cosentino, and Cosentino means Tino at the end of my name means coming from. It's like if you're Irish and your name is O'Shaughnessy, you mean O means son of Shaughnessy. So if you think of Italy as the boot, there's the toe and the heel, and then if you picture the instep of Italy, there's a town called Cosenza that's there. So I started doing research on Ancestry.com and a couple other sites, and I found out that I'm actually Sicilian in the sense that I traced my name back to 1650 to a gentleman, Niccolo Cosentino, who was born and died, and he was born, raised, and died in a little village outside of Palermo, Sicily. And for the next 300 years, every Cosentino was born and died in the same town. And this is the part I like because his name was Niccolo. Niccolo had a son named Giacomo. Giacomo had a son named Lorenzo. Lorenzo had a son named Vincenzo. Vincenzo had a son named Lorenzo. Lorenzo had a son named Vincenzo. And Vincenzo had a son named Giuseppe, and that was my great-grandfather. Giuseppe came over to the U.S. as a child, had a number of children. One was Lawrence, which is my grandfather. But so I trace our family back 300 or 400 years ago, and we're all Sicilian. But the real cool part is doing the research. So I said there was, again, Niccolo, Giacomo, and then the first Vincenzo. So Vincenzo had a couple kids. One was Lorenzo, which my family came off, and one was Giuseppe. So we looked at those branches going down, and I found somebody who can trace their ancestries back to 60. We both traced it back to Lorenzo. So we met them in Palermo for the day, and it was really cool because there was him, his wife, his daughter, his sister, his mother, his father, and his great uncle. And they were so excited to meet a Cosentino from the U.S. as we were excited to meet someone, from Italy. And it was so cool. So there's tangent number 29. But according to the DNA, I'm 27% Southern Italian. So I'm roughly 60% German, and the rest is a little Irish and a little English. And I think a little bit of French, but I'll deny that to the day I die.
Oh, I agree with Adon. To a new pharma. Yeah. Hopefully Mark Cuban, what he's putting together is really going to help. What was the name of that again? If you can put it in the
Plus.
Put it in the comments. Because we have a couple more listeners. And I'm almost 80% British and Irish. I'm about as white can be.
Okay, tangent number 30. Here goes. So we went to Ireland a few years ago too, and my grandmother was in O'Shaughnessy. So we went to a St. Mary's church, which I think in Ireland you can throw a rock and hit a St. Mary's church. There's so many of them. but this one had O'Shaughnessy's buried. And I swear, I had some fun with my mom, but I found a cemetery marker that said Timothy O'Shaughnessy, born or died April 16th, 1959. Well, my grandmother's O'Shaughnessy, and I was born April 16th, 1959. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, this is crazy. And this is where I started. I like telling stories. I like making things up. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what it was, but the moment we got off the bus, I felt compelled to come to this particular spot in the cemetery, as if some force was pulling me to it. You think that maybe, just maybe, when he died, somehow a little bit of him was sent to me because I was born the same day he died? And she just looked at me and said, shut up. That's my mother.
She knew you very well, it sounds like.
Yes.
I'm a little bit, I'm almost 15% German. So.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm doing with the DNA, I'm trying to research my German side of the family.
Yep. And a little bit Finnish, which I thought was odd because I lived in the UP.
Did you say we're finished?
Yep, almost.
No, it's 3 o'clock. So sorry. See, that's the beauty of my intellect. You see how that works? She said finished. It's almost 3 o'clock. I said finished.
Yep. And we've had quite a few come and go. So I will be putting this out everywhere, and we appreciate you guys so much. So much.
You know, and this may sound funny. We do this for you. You know, we like to have fun. I like having fun together for most. But, you know, we do this, and we hope this has some value out there. And if it does, have a little bit, call somebody you know with Parkinson's, ask them to jump on board, ask them to leave a question for us, because realistically, we want to do this to help everyone out there that currently has Parkinson's.
Yeah, just let them, you know, they can send us an email. They can, you know, give us a shout out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, wherever they want. Just, you know, send us a comment anywhere they can. And we will see you next week, same time, same bat channel.
Okay, since we're all basically, yeah, there you go, right there. Okay, so next week, someone tell me, what does this mean?
Where did it come from?
Put it in the comment. Where did it come from?
We'll give you a hint. Comedy show from the 70s into the, what, did it go into the 80s? I'm not sure. I know it was 70s.
All right, comedy show 70s. See ya. Bye-bye.
Take care.